This is the Vision 79 podcast, where my friend Sander and myself, Mason, discuss recent developments in our business and personal growth. The name Vision 79 comes from our respective racing numbers. Sanders is 40, mine is 39, and we have similar ambition to progress in our business and personal growth. Many successful people started small, just like us, but very few of them have documented their early years. They often say they wish they had, and given we believe in learning lessons from others, we intend to be the first to document our journey from start to finish. This is simply a documentary of our lives, and as such, we do not monetize these videos, so enjoy the ad-free content. Each episode is broken down into 3 segments, each covering our progress over the past week. We start by discussing our life updates, then our business updates, and lastly, we share any lessons we've learned over the past week. We have timestamps in the description to navigate these sections easily. Today is August 9th, 2026, and we're recording episode 117. So what are your life updates this week?
So for life this week, Blue Origin, as always, at least as of recently. Next generation test work is still in progress, will be for a while. I have the 2 different tests now, so I'm working on both of those, and I've had a lot of people ask me to review their test plans and documents and stuff like that. So, or a little bit of a busier week. And just a lot of people throwing stuff at me, or coming up with an idea that's not so good and then asking me to execute it. So it's been about my week so far at Blue Origin. In terms of working on Mike's Porsche, he's busy restoring the fog lights right now. He actually called up Auto Atlanta to see if he could get some new ones. They said they only had used ones. He ordered 2. They sent him 6. And out of the 6 that they sent him, he can make 2 that are decent. So
Weird.
yeah. So not sure what's going on up there. It's possible George Hussey's the owner up there. He has a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that, and he's getting older for sure. He's I would guess he's probably in his 80s right now.
Okay.
So he might be trying to kind of get out of it if he doesn't have anyone to take over. So might be offloading some inventory and stuff like that. That might be the reason why.
Could be good news for you. You could pick up some cool knickknacks for cheap.
I need less knickknacks. I need
or more
less
storage
shit.
space. More space for knickknacks.
But just kind of waiting on that thing, on that side of things for Mike to finish up those fog lights, and then we can continue working on that car.
This is terrible coffee.
Yeah,
have you had yours?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Where'd you put yours? Did you throw yours out?
No, I put mine
right here.
Yeah, it's not very good. Yeah, the coffee is mid today.
Yeah, today.
Big sad. But yeah, so just waiting on the fog lights. The guy who's living at my house left yesterday morning, Saturday morning. Yes, he's gone.
Cool.
So he left a bunch of his stuff, so he still has to come back. Food and bathroom stuff and clothing and other odds and ends.
You really think he'll come back?
He said he'd come back Monday for it.
Okay.
He also has my spare key. Still.
Not that it works anymore, right? So
it still might
be. We'll see if he comes back.
Yeah. But he's out of the house, which is great. I can have some of my time back and not have to worry all the time.
Do you think you'll ever do something nice for someone again?
No, I won't. No one is welcome to live in my fucking house anymore. No. This is a horrible experience. I mean, not no one. Like some people, obviously, but no, I will not ever do anything like that ever again. No. Cool. There are some people out there who struggle, and I get it. If you have an active, paying, good job, and have made mistakes, but you're trying to work yourself out of that, but you still have decent income, you have the ability to pull yourself out of that shit. Some people are in the place they're supposed to be out of their own stupidity for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's I've done the math. You and I both did the math on this, and it's this still doesn't add up, even if we take all the numbers into account.
That's what was really interesting to me about this situation is that if you think about yourself in your perspective from the view of your parents, right? If your parent is going to tell a coworker about you in a summary, what would they say? Yeah. They would probably say oh, Sanders great. He's got his own place. He's got a bunch of project cars he works on. He's an engineer with Blue Origin,
Sure.
right? Like those are successful titles by like anyone's standards.
Sure.
This person has those titles, but when you look behind the scenes at how they manage their money and how they choose to spend their time
It's
and
very
how they live your
confusing.
life, it's like it's like how the guy in the Lamborghini is like actually way over leveraged and underwater on the car,
Yeah.
and he's like how it looks from the outside is not always how it looks on the inside. And what's interesting is that you would think that like Lambo flexing guy who tries to like flaunt his money, you could maybe assume that he's going through like tough financial situations. He put himself there, but like he's probably over leveraged on that car, right? And he's doing it for clout. But when you see like like a low six-figure income kind of guy, or he was like below six-figure income,
Just
but
below.
close,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of guy, you don't expect that person to spend their time so poorly and make financial decisions so poorly.
Yeah. It's
It was surprising to me to
It
see that happen.
it's confusing. I don't really understand it. Like I can't add up the numbers in such a way that it makes sense to me.
Me neither.
Like even accounting for like going to home and back to work 3 times a day. Like yeah, you're burning a lot of gas money.
But like the mass flow in does not equal the mass flow out with the debt numbers that he gave you.
Yeah,
Like
like
there's
the
some
money's gotta be
left over.
going somewhere.
It's if
doing
it's a
something.
if it's a secret savings account or if
Yeah,
it's
if the
fucking
401k
drugs.
is at like 10% and he doesn't know.
Sure, right, yeah. Then or like if he has a crazy health savings plan and doesn't know. But like
Right.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I can't I
explain it.
struggle with that level of my incompetence meter has been hit really hard this week. So I'm done speculating on it.
Yeah, that's about where I got. I was at the point at the end of the week where it was just like I was just yes man, okay man, and it was like just counting down like 36 hours, 24 hours, 12 more hours.
Yeah.
This will be fine.
Yeah.
I just didn't care anymore. I was like I just want my time back.
I understand.
But in light of that as well, Sammy and I are trying to look for a new place.
Mhm.
Um, it's just challenging to live there at this point.
Always has been.
Yeah, always has been, but it's only gotten worse.
Yep.
Like significantly. It used to be that I'd, call a plumber once every 6 months or even more than that and be like, hey, like just weird little drain thing. And then he'd go, I have to deal with drain stuff every 2 weeks, at least at this point. In addition to like intermittent weird shit that happens throughout the week.
Yeah.
The AC will like you cannot put it lower than 74 without it freezing over.
That's crazy.
Cannot. Like you
Dude,
really have to have it at 75,
Your
76.
your quality of life is gonna fucking skyrocket. Like you're gonna love where it doesn't matter where you end up next. Like whatever the place you have, it's probably gonna have granite countertops. It's like the AC, the insulation is gonna be good enough that you can actually run the fucking AC
Right.
and
I
not pay out
spend
the ass.
$300 a month on electric.
Dude,
And I have the house at 76.
in the heat of the summer, I keep the AC at 73 all day, and then I put it at 68 at night.
Okay.
I paid $105 this month.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's just like
Peak heat of the summer. Your
76
life is
de-
going to change
I
for the
know.
better.
it's 76 degrees. I'm paying $300 a month.
Yep.
And that's like I don't have like stupid lights on. I'm not fucking mining Bitcoin.
No, you got blackout curtains and everything. Like you do your best to keep it efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the windows have good curtains on them. I mean, it's just getting ridiculous to that point. I mean, there are so many different places within the house that ants and bugs can get in that
Mhm.
I actually can't track down how to solve the issue.
Mhm.
The
You buy a lizard.
the windows are shit. The lighting in the garage doesn't work because the ceiling line is blown out. There are animals that live between the ceiling and the roof. There are possums that live on the back porch. Like I am so like I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I'm excited for
It was Sammy's idea to move, and I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I don't think this is great.
Mhm.
And it was her idea to move, and then I was thinking about it, and we were looking at prices or whatever, and she was like, maybe we don't have to move. And I was like, no, we fucking have to move. You know why?
Now that you thought about it.
Because the pain side in your life is the toilet doesn't flush once in a while, and I go tell Sander. The pain part in my life is I have to run a fucking power snake down everyone else's shit into a tube in the yard at fucking 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
That's my pain.
Yeah.
And it fucking
Well,
sucks.
a few
Right.
days ago you had mentioned it, and it was like no one being in real estate, I'm very exposed to what rent prices look like and what the cost of renting is overall, because it's not just the monthly cost, it's also the upfront cost, right?
Yeah.
And everyone like like you start renting, and then over time you don't have to look at rent, and so people just assume that like the rates are what they used to be, or like you don't know, so you just make like an educated guess. So most people, like the average one bed one bath apartment in Brevard, like average, not super nice, not super dingy, is like 1550 a month,
Yeah.
right? If you want to get worse, you can do like 1300. There's not much below that. If you want to get better, you can get up to like 1800. There's not much above that, right?
Yeah.
I'm toward the upper end at like 1700. So, and you've seen my apartment, so you know what that's kind of like, right? But if you're like, if you want like more than one bedroom, if you want like 2 bedrooms, like the minimum that you're gonna find is 1500, and that's like a shithole. So
Yeah.
like you start pricing up, and then if you want a garage option too, like that's another couple $100. So when you texted me yesterday and you were like, "Here's our budget," I was like, "That is so workable. There's so much in that range. Like
Yeah.
this is a good
Around
expectation." to have."
$2,000.
Yep. Yep.
And because like if you factor this other stuff in, like, um, if the electric is cheaper,
Yep.
which it very, very likely will be. I don't see how it could be more expensive than what I'm paying now.
Mhm.
I've talked with people with 2,500 square foot homes that pay less than I do.
Yep.
So I highly, highly doubt it would be more. I think it would be less. Water maybe about the same, but honestly, my water bill's been trickling up. I'm curious if there's a break in the supply line, because the previous tenant did have a break in the supply line
Mhm.
that did have to get repaired, and their water bill ended up creeping. Then it ended up being like $500.
Do you know if what kind of plumbing that house has?
It's all cast iron. Everything's cast iron.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
My
So
boss
that's what
at
I'm
work.
looking at now,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, water bill seems a little bit higher than it has in the past months.
Right.
Wonder what's going on.
You know what else? This is okay. I'm so excited for you because there's so many different areas that I know that you're gonna move in and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was living this way for so long. A dishwasher, right?
No, yeah, we don't have one of
The
those.
convenience of having a dishwasher is life changing, but B, hand washing dishes, like there have been scientific studies, it takes up 3 times as much water to hand wash a dish than in the dishwasher.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
So you
yeah.
save on water there too,
Yeah.
right?
But it's like stuff
Yeah,
like
I'm
that.
stoked for you.
So in light of that, I ordered a blower fan motor for the BMW. I've decided that is the absolute last thing that I will do on that car. I will not do the seatbelt tensioner because I do not know if it's the driver's seat or the seatbelt tensioner. It could be either one.
Okay.
And I'm not willing to spend more money on that car and dump time and money into it. I know the
Yeah.
blower fan is bad, 100% certainty,
Mhm.
because I can hear it and I
Right.
know that it's right there and I can hear where it is. So I know I can fix that. I'm going to put that in and I'm going to list the car for like $4,000.
Cool.
I'm just going to get rid of it. Just
Cool.
gone. I just want it gone. If someone, $4,000 is what I'll list it for,
Mhm.
I will take as low as 3. I won't take
Cool.
more than that. I just don't care. Like I want cash up front as quickly as possible.
I'm on board.
Same thing with the drum kit in my room. I'm gonna list that and
I
let it
didn't know
go.
you had a drum kit.
Yeah, it's stacked up in the corner. So
Cool.
same thing with that. That's gonna go.
Is it truck time? Is it time for truck?
This will be to help me pay off credit card debt as
Okay.
well as get into a new place
Okay, cool.
because there will
Reasonable,
be upfront
reasonable.
costs.
Yeah, and okay, so there's a couple factors here. When I leave, I get my security deposit back,
Right.
assuming that the cats haven't destroyed the apartment to the point that I
Right.
don't get it back. And I put holes in the wall too. So like we'll fucking see. But usually when you move out of an apartment, you get your security deposit back, and then that kind of covers the security deposit for the next place. So like you still have to have first month, last month, but it's not as heavy of a hit because you don't also need the security deposit.
Yeah.
But this place didn't charge you a security deposit. Instead, you just pay for all the repairs, and then you have to do the math on how much to redact from rent. But yeah, it's gonna take more. Anywhere you go, apartment, house, condo, doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
gonna take more.
So that stuff I'm gonna sell. I'm going to take a good look at what is on the 2 rolling chassis that I have outside the orange car in the storage unit.
Mhm.
I'm going to take a good look at those, and I'm going to make a decision on whether it is worth cutting out the pieces that I want, or whether it's worth selling both of those rollers for like 1,000 or 1,500 and make them go away.
What could you get if you cut it out and then sold the rest for scrap? What could you get for the scrap? Couple hundred.
Maybe 400,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
So that's the option that I'm looking at there as well. The only kind of like iffy 50-50 thing I'm on is maybe keeping the one that still has wheels and suspension and steering column and all that stuff on it.
It's like
because
the
one of them
bluer,
does. Yeah, the
bluer
bluer
one.
one in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one in the center, I got to make a decision on that one and see if I just want to make it go away.
Yeah.
Um,
If you do end up selling those, you could probably downsize the storage unit too. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not.
right.
Because
Well,
if you move-
regardless, I looked at storage units today a little bit. There's an extra space storage right next to where the shop is. It's like if you go, if the shop is here and then you go down towards Wawa and then it's right here. So it's
Yeah,
like
it's on the
right
front.
across.
Mhm.
Probably hit it with a BB gun over the railroad tracks if you wanted to. But
Yeah.
it's right there. And I looked and they had some like 10 by 30 units, which is not 20 by 20, it's 10 by 30, but they were like 120.
Yeah.
Like really not bad. And even if I go in and it's a little bit more or whatever, like it's
Half what you're paying now.
less than half. I'm paying $330,
Right.
I think.
Right.
So quite a significant difference in that respect, which could save some money on that side of things.
Yeah.
So there are some options there. I would have liked to downsize the volume of shit that I have. By selling the drum kit, getting rid of some of the Porsche stuff for just cheap, just make it go away, make the BMW go away. Another thing that I've just on the drive here, I was thinking about is I think I'm going to let go of the last remaining Hot Wheels that I have. I have a very big bin, and I think it's probably worth about $2,000,
Got it.
about 1,500 maybe.
Are
So
you gonna bulk sell it, or are you gonna?
yeah, I'm
push
gonna
them
go
out?
down to KBS Hobbies in Melbourne,
Gotcha.
and I'm just gonna lay everything out and be like, what can you give me?
Who do you owe money to? Do you have a drug addiction? What's going on? All of a sudden, you were like, "I'm done.
I'm just sick of it.
Change of life, man."
I was just looking around and I was like, I don't know how all this shit just bothers me.
That's funny.
And I was like, I'm sick of having like I'm tired of not being able to prospect at the idea of moving because I don't even have like $3,000 liquid. Like this is retarded.
So is it a money thing? Like I wish I had more in my savings account, or is it like a space items thing where you're like, I'm sick of seeing the
It's
clutter and
both
having
too. I mean, it's like because the volume of stuff that I have,
One of my favorite parts about you is that you have so much shit, and every single piece of shit has a story. Like you can go
Yeah,
through your
that's true.
knickknacks, and like every single knickknack looks like trash to everyone else, but you have a meaningful story behind all of them, which I think is fun.
yeah, no, I mean it is fun, but like at the end of the day, I haven't opened the Hot Wheels bin in 3 years.
It's true. And if you haven't used it in that long, then would you really miss it if it were gone?
Right. It's like I kind of even forget that I have it. And like at that point, it's like, like this should probably go away. And like a lot of the knickknacks, like the older vintage stuff or whatever, like I'm keeping that stuff. It's just like the bulk items that I don't attend to anymore, I
Right.
think can go away. So that's the stuff I'm really looking at getting rid of.
Cool.
And also, it saves money in terms of potential storage unit space. It saves money on the front that it's easier to move around. It doesn't take up as much space in the house. In case I need to downsize in the future, I don't have to worry about that headache, right? So it saves on a few different fronts. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for this coming week to kind of deal with some of that stuff.
Cool.
But that actually concludes my life update for this week.
Cool.
What do you have for life this week?
I have a lot less. It's mostly Northrop Grumman bullshit, I think. I became a CAM a few months ago, and usually when you become a cost account manager, they're given an account of size X. I don't want to get into specific numbers, but like let's just say size X, right? Standard CAM. When I became a CAM, I was given an account of size X. Cool, I'm meeting CAM needs, right? Then I became the CAM for my whole effort that just got a new giant multi-year contract. And so now I'm managing CAM account X and CAM account X multiplied by like 50. Like it's a
Okay.
much bigger account. It's enormous, right?
Got it.
Which most cams don't have to manage. But also, it's at the beginning of the contract. So like, I was given cam account X, and I'm managing it, right? So like, as I'm predicting what we're gonna spend next month, and then I'm seeing if I was right on the previous month, right? For cam account 10X or 20X, however fucking big it is, the giant one, we're at the beginning of a contract. So like, I have to plan in advance, planning packages over the course of the next many years, and also fill out the whole integrated master schedule. So like, it's a much bigger task than just doing regular cam shit. And then also it's a giant account. So there's like fucking, I mean, like dozens of tasks that I have to write planning packages for.
Yeah.
So that has been a motivating factor for me to ask for a promotion. This week, we got a ROM request, so a rough order of magnitude request for request for estimate RFE. So we got a ROM RFE, and that means that I have to go to my department managers and I have to explain to them what this contract work scope is. I'm not a technical specialist for this, by the way. So like, I have to go learn what the task is, then go to the department managers who work directly under my director and explain to them what this is, and then ask them to go get me BOEs, basis of estimates, for me to then give to them to send to our customer, and they'll figure out if they want to give us the contract or not. This is another big contract. It's not quite as big as the one that's like 10 or 20 times the size of a regular one. It's probably like 5 times the size of a regular one. But still, like, now I have to go do the proposal process for this too. So I went and I met with the department managers, and one of the department managers is my boss's boss. So when I ask my boss for a promotion, he goes to this department manager, and that department manager and the director above him figure out with HR if I should get a promotion or not.
Got it.
So it was kind of cool that I got to display my camship abilities to this guy because he's directly in charge of my promotion.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But on the other hand, I'm doing a lot of fucking work, and I'm taking off work next week, right? So like, I'm going on vacation from noon Monday through the rest of the week. I'm gone. So like, I'll be in Monday morning. And so this week I was like wrapping up my tasks because I have meetings like day one when I get back. And so I'm trying to get stuff like slides and shit ready for then. And in this final day, I get like fucking 10 emails from 10 different people, and they're all saying, here's a cam thing that's due in the middle of next week. Here's a cam thing that's due at the end of next week. Here's a cam thing that's due one day after you get back. And I'm like, dude, I fucking, like, I don't want to dump all this shit on my boss, right? Because then it's me dumping it on him last second, although I received it last second. But I also like flat out do not have the time to do all this. And so I decided on Friday, I was like, I'm just going to try to crank out as much as I can. And like, whatever I'm not able to get to, I'll let my boss know. Right. And so the biggest issue here is that I had to fill out a cap sheet. And a cap sheet is a capture sheet. And it basically dictates where are you spending your money? Like, how many hours? Like, dedicate a specific number of hours to specific tasks and specific people from now until March. And so that's a lot of fucking work. And as far as the charge networks go, you have, I assume you use like some type of caps, like time sheet, something, right?
Well,
You have
actually,
charge
we're
networks, right?
Yeah, but it's funny at Blue Origin. The current way the sheet works is your manager will assign you an allocation for charge codes down at the bottom. So like 50% on this, 25% on this, 25% on this. Like that's what he predicts your allocation should be for the week.
Got it.
Right? Then we can fill out our timesheet in accordance to that.
Okay.
Right? Or in accordance to whatever we did, right? In terms of our charge code.
Sure.
If you don't fill it out, it auto-fills to 40 hours a week and utilizes his predictions for the amount of time you use on each charge code.
Interesting.
So I haven't filled out a timesheet in about 4 months.
Weird.
Yeah.
Ours are manual. You have to do a manual.
Because I was filling out stuff and it wasn't aligning up with his stuff, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna.
So you get, how many charge networks do you have? Like 4, you said? Or
Oh, we have a lot of charge codes.
for a lot of different things?
Oh yeah. I mean, for us specifically, we probably use on average a juggle of like 3 or 4.
Got it.
Yeah.
I have.
But there are hundreds throughout the entirety of Blue Origin.
No, I mean, like for you, like how many do you interact with regularly?
3 to 4.
3 or 4. My cost account for this cap sheet, I have 15 charge networks that I have to go assign hours and tasking for until March. And so I go in and I'm starting to do it. And the numbers don't feel right. Like, I don't remember bidding this many hours for the human factors team, right? And so I'm like, this feels weird. And so I go to the planning directive, which is what informs the cap sheet, and like those numbers are off too. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I call my boss over and I'm like, is this kid retarded, or like, did I do something wrong? And he was like, no, this is weird. And he's looking at it and he realizes, oh, I just submitted an estimate for a firm proposal, right? Which is the real, no kidding, here's what it's going to cost, pay us this, right? And then you negotiate and you end up finding like, oh, I'm only getting like 80% of my firm proposal, right? But that's not what this cap sheet is using. It's not using my firm numbers. It's not even using my floor numbers, which is the numbers we give to our negotiations team to say like, hey, don't go below, like, don't go below this. We can't do the work for less than this, right? They're not even using that. They're using our NTE, our not to exceed contract values from a year ago, which is the like, just throw shit at the wall and here's my best guess a year and a half out, right? Those are the numbers they're using. So like now I have to go assign, and like half of those numbers are wrong. There's like, they're missing our whole configuration data management hours. Like that's gone. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I can't do this work. It's 11 a.m. on Friday. The kid who is in charge of the planning directive is gone for the weekend. So like I can't do anything. And so I told my boss, I was like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the planning directive and I'm going to assign all of my new charge networks, all my 11 or 15, however many it is, charge networks, to the BOE IDs from the NTE and the planning directive. And then first thing Monday morning, when this cost guy comes back, I'm going to have him update it because I can't use my firm numbers, so I have to use the NTE numbers. But he assigned them all wrong. So like I'm going to rebalance the NTE numbers to try to make it work from here to March. And my boss was like, okay. And I was like real talk with you, like that's going to get done Monday morning. I leave Monday at noon to go get on a plane. So like, I'm not going to have it finished. You're going to have to cover part of it for me. And my boss, who's also on the way out of the team, was like, that's fine. I've got it handled. Don't worry about it. I was like, thank you. I appreciate it. And then he left at like, 1:30 to go have drinks with the director because they are having like private conversations about like why he's leaving the team and whatever else, right? So like they went to a bar and hung out for the rest of the
Got
day.
it.
So like I kept pounding away on Friday, but like I'm at the point now where I am being asked to do so much shit. There's a guy who works in Oklahoma and he comes down to help various teams every once in a while. He's like you and me. He's like a hard fucking worker. His name's Jacob. And I asked my task lead this week, she was like, hey, we're thinking about having Jacob come down in August. Could you use him? And I was like, please give me an entire week with him. Like just me. Like he can hit my charge network. I have EP, or I have two heads. Like there should be two people charging full time to this task, and it's just me. And so like I'm underrunning on my hours because I don't have another engineer working for or above me. So like give me Jacob and like let me use him leading up to this presentation that we have mid-September. So like it's a mess. There's so much shit. And so like now I'm getting to the point where I'm really aggravated because I am doing a lot of fucking work and I'm doing it last second and I'm not getting paid for it. So it's starting to really bother me.
I had like kind of like a similar, like same but different this week.
Yeah.
Where it was like I put a lot of work and effort into a lot of my tasking, but like in particular to this particular portion of this task that I'm doing for Gwen Stage 3, I put a lot of effort into this kind of like simplified, easy to use tracking system that was very, very nitty gritty, easy to work through, step by step instruction. Like just it was good. And another person on the team created a poorly executed new version of it that doesn't contain all the information that I had, is harder to navigate, and is more cumbersome. And essentially said that like, this is what we're doing now. Can you take a look at it? I took a look at it and I was like, doesn't look like it's finished. And he was like, got it, why don't you finish it? And I was like, why? And he was like, because this will be better, trust me, you have to, I'm not gonna say what he'll say because he used quotes from the company in a sarcastic manner in order to push me to work through this stuff. And I don't want to make it sound as though I don't care about the company because I do think it's a good company. But
there's a difference between believing in the values and following the values and
using it sarcastically in order to stab me in the back.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just don't want to get into that. But
you can't leverage company values to get someone else to do work that you're unwilling to do.
Right. Yeah. That's like not okay.
That's not in the company values.
Right. And so I texted Sammy and I was like, look at this shit. I sent her a screenshot on Teams because she's on the same,
Yeah.
we're all in the same network.
That's fun now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's good fun. And I was like, like I think I'm going to start applying again. I think I'm going to update my LinkedIn again because I've
Yep.
been here for about 6 months, and I see, I see the potential. I see the potential of job hopping and like getting little pay raises, pay raise, whatever. Right. So there is that potential too. But like on the other side of that coin too is like if I have to deal with this level of retardation, like I want to make so much fucking money that I don't even care. Like my main problem isn't like my main problem is the fact that I have to deal with stupidity.
Yeah.
Like that's what really irks me. It's not like the 20 grand here or the 20 grand there or whatever bonus or whatever. Like the day-to-day stupidity makes me dumber.
Yeah.
Like that's a real issue for me. And so it's like if I have to deal with this level of stupidity, like I want to make so much more money that I don't fucking care.
Do you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
There's a PM, there's a program manager who my boss and I talk about because he is at that level of retardation.
Yeah.
He's a program manager. And like I sent him a meme the other day because every fucking month there's this a PMR, a program management review that this PM has to go give to like our chief engineers and stuff. And every fucking month I have to explain to him what my slides are, what they mean. It's requirement volatility. So like TLDR, how many requirements changed this month and why?
Yeah.
Every fucking month, like clockwork. I have it saved on my calendar as a task I have to do. I have to re-explain to him what the same slide means every time. And I sent a fucking meme to my boss of Sisyphus, the Greek myth guy who's like cursed to roll the boulder up the hill just for it to roll down. And I sent him the meme and I was like, I'm Sisyphus and I have to roll this fucking boulder up the mountain every month, explaining to him the same fucking thing every month, right? And like he and I laugh about it. We joke that it's on our chief engineer's Christmas list to get rid of this guy, right?
Got it. Yeah.
But like I struggle to understand how he's at that level, how he got to program manager status like that, you know? It's mind-boggling to me. It's
so
unbelievable.
Wild. So wild. But like that's kind of where I sit. And it sucks because I don't if I have to deal with this level of stupidity, I want to make more money. And I like the people I work with overall. I think it's a great company. If I leave on good terms, I could come back for more pay. I think that's fine. Or at least potentially. But like, I think it is a smart move for me to update the LinkedIn and see what's out there as well. Because I can always hop a little bit and try to get some pay raises here and there, or at least negotiate for higher pay. Just because like I get paid well, but like to have the mind-numbing stupidity that I have to deal with on a regular basis is like a little bit too. It's a little bit too taxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if I have to deal with this stupidity, I want to be able to sit back and relax on the financial side.
Yeah.
Right? Where like that balance isn't there. So that's kind of where I sit with
Dude,
that.
I've been meaning to update my LinkedIn all week because like as of this week, I'm the see it lead for my task.
Yeah.
And so like I went to go into my LinkedIn and put that I'm a see it lead, right? And I've been meaning to. And like every time I have like an opportunity to breathe and do it at my desk, it's someone else who's like, hey, I need you to update your QSST. Like your QBDs need to be updated. I need you to fill out this form. Like,
yeah.
Shit. Like there's like an endless barrage of like stuff to do.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
100%. But
yeah,
sorry, I interrupted your life update.
You're good. That's the bulk of it for Northrop. It's just that like if I have my quarterly connection with my functional coming up, and I'm gonna express to him that like, hey dog, if it doesn't happen in the fall, like I have to look at other companies because like, and it's not like I am like being like an ambitious engineer and like I'm trying to do more and do better to chase down a promotion. Like, I was burdened by being asked to become a cam, and so I accepted that burden. And am now operating at a high, and then I was given, like by nature of the cam that I'm a task for, I was given more shit. And then by the nature of this level 4 engineer, my boss leaving, like I was burdened with the lead position. So like I've been a level 1 engineer for 5 years.
Yeah.
Never complained about it once, right? Yeah. I was then asked to do all this extra shit. And so now I'm way overworking and being underpaid. So like, I'm gonna have to talk to him in the quarterly connection. And then if he's like, yeah, I don't know, man, like, maybe, and we get through the full promotion cycle and I don't get anything, then like, I have no choice,
Yeah.
I talked to there's a friend of mine at Harris who is a director there, and he's like directly in charge of hiring people. And I was like, hey, here's my predicament. Here's my situation. Here's how big my cost account is, right? Um, it's big for promotions and getting new jobs. If you can talk in dollars, hours, and personnel, right? Like
Yeah.
how much money I saved the company. I was like, if I want to be a level 3 engineer with you guys, and like I have experience with all this cam shit and the leadership stuff, like, you know, I want to be at like 120 a year.
Mhm.
Um, for a level 3. If I were promoted, then like they have a level 3 rec open right now on my team. You should apply. And the pay band has them at like 125 a year.
Okay. Yeah.
I would be happy at 120. I feel like what I'm doing right now is probably 120 a year. And I was like, do you think I could land around there? And he was like, for a level 3 doing that stuff, you're probably looking at like no more than 105. And I was like, I would not switch companies for 10
No,
grand. That's not worth
that's
it.
ridiculous.
It's not worth it. And like Northrop, Lockheed, and Boeing are like the top 3 prime contractors, and Harris is a major subcontractor. But like
Okay.
most of Harris's contracts come from like Northrop and Lockheed, right?
Sure.
We get our contracts largely from the government, and so like we get more money, so we pay our engineers more. That's generally how it
Got it.
goes. And like I don't want to leave Northrop, but
Yeah.
I'm just not getting paid enough. If you took that level 3 position and joined my team, we'd be fucking unstoppable. Um, so that's my Northrop update. For my life update, I go on vacation this week. It's my first vacation in years, so we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
We dropped the cats off today at my parents', so I have to do that when I leave, and then we're gonna go show you the condo.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for
Um,
doing that
yeah,
last
sure,
minute.
sure.
Sammy really wanted to go see it as soon as possible,
looks
and I was
cool,
like,
dude.
yeah, I was like, whatever, I can make some time to be flexible today. She caught me at a good time because she asked me to do it 30 minutes after I'd spent an hour outside in the yard baking in the sun, snake in the fucking drain. So I was like very open to like, yeah, like let's leave.
Yeah, yeah.
So she caught me at a good time for it.
Yeah, it'll be fun, and like if you end up liking it and you want to apply, like you don't need me to do that. So like,
Sure, yeah. I mean, we can do that stuff.
yeah,
It wouldn't be my first move.
yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah,
So that's we'll see how the vacation goes. It's
cool.
basically like my whole week. Like by the time we podcast next week, I'll have been back Saturday, and like odds are that's grocery shopping and like getting shit together. So
Yeah.
that'll probably be most of my next week update. The Camaro, there was a new development. What happened with the Camaro? Oh, I was taking my sunshade down because one of the sunshades is shitty and one of them's completely broken. So I have to like wedge it in the roof to keep my sunshade up. And so when I was taking the visor down, I take the visor down and then I put it in the back seat so that it doesn't slide around because it was in the passenger side floor and it slid around so much that the felt started to tear on it. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put it in the back seat and it won't move and it won't tear. And so as I was turning around, the little metal prong that I wedge into the ceiling
Oh.
scraped against the headliner and tore a hole in my headliner. And I was like, I fucking cannot with this car in it, dude. Oh my God. And it was raining that day too. So it was like already wet in the car. And I was like, I'm fucking, and there's cords showing on the outside of one of my front tires and
Yeah.
they're like down to the wear bars. And I was like, oh my God, I fucking can't with this car right now. I'm fucking so sick of it. I don't know. Like, dude, there's so many different things that it needs. I'm putting it in the garage and I'm leaving for a week. And then when I come back, I'll fucking deal with it. But I was like literally earlier that day, I was like, I'll see if Sander has time to fix my car after vacation because I haven't been going to the gym very recently, but I have been doing a lot of bikes at home. And part of the reason is there's a lot of traffic between work and the gym. It's only like 15 minutes, but it's standstill traffic for 15 minutes. So the car overheats. So I have to turn the car off while I'm sitting in traffic.
Mm.
And like, I think that the more I start and stop the car, the more likely it is that it's not going to turn back on again. And I don't want to run that risk in standstill traffic
Sure.
right after work. So I just have not been taking the car. Also, the exhaust scrapes on the ground in the Crunch parking lot is shitty, and I don't want to fucking
Yeah.
scrape anything. So like, I just haven't been taking it. But if I can reconnect the exhaust to fix the cooling fans, I can start taking it to the gym again. And then that day, I scratched the headliner and found out that my cords were showing, and I was like, I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to do any of it. I just want to buy an LC and be done with it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go on vacation and not think about it. And then when I
There
come
you
back,
go.
I'll fucking figure it out. But like, I'm so pissed at that car today specifically. Okay, that's my life update. What is your business update this week?
So for business this week, in terms of the shop space, the other AC is not done yet. Not surprised, but it is cool enough in there to work. I leave it at 78.
Oh, I never sent you the number of that AC guy that I met.
Oh no, yeah.
He's
Oh.
cool. I was at the bar and I was talking to Adam about.
I already paid up front for this guy though.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
He still hasn't come out? He knows he's supposed to do both, right? Yeah. Anyway, I was talking to Adam and I was talking about how like shitty this real estate agent I've been dealing with is. And the guy overheard me And he was like, "Oh, like you're gonna go far." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, I'm sorry to eavesdrop, but like it seems like you do ethical work and like you're gonna go far with that." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And so we got into a conversation. Turns out he's in HVAC and
Oh, got it.
he was doing residential, but he left because so many people were getting bad quotes from other HVAC people, and like he had to go clean up other shitty HVAC people's jobs. So he went to commercial because like there's like a higher standard in commercial HVAC. But I was like, "Oh, my buddy was gonna do his own HVAC stuff, but he doesn't know how to braze." And so he had to hire someone. He was like, "Oh, if he wants to learn, I'll teach him." And I
Oh,
was
got
like,
it.
"Oh, okay, whatever."
Yeah.
Anyways, that's the guy. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's already paid in advance, so he should come out soon. Mike was sick this last week, so I didn't bug him about it too.
Cool.
But maybe this week I'll ask him. I think the overall unit, I think it will be cooler for less money if 2 units are running at a higher efficiency than 1 unit just cranking the shit out of
I
it.
think so. I think so.
So it should be better on 2 respects. But in terms of the green car, um, as of like last week, the front suspension is apart, rear suspension is apart, interior components on the chassis side are taken out, rocker panels are off. It's kind of the same thing as last week. I haven't really done too much work on that car this week, outside of removing the front sway bar and working on pulling some of the fuel system out, some more of the lines and stuff like that that are associated with that system. But not too much happened on that front of things, just some kind of odds and ends. Most of the week, I mean, outside of the fact that a big damper on the last 2 weeks has been the fact that I've had someone else at the house and there's been multiple issues with that person, which has resulted in conversations with them and me needing to be home and conversations with my girlfriend and trying to figure out how we're going to handle this situation or whatever. Like that has been a massive damper, to say the least. Um, but this week, I have dug into researching and weighing options for what I do with that green car versus the orange car and some of the other stuff that I have. So, what I've done so far is I've gone through and brainstormed my own options and own kind of ideas of like, do I fix the green car first? Do I fix the orange car first? What do I do with the green car? What do I do with the motor on the green car? Do I do a swap on one of these cars in terms of engine and transmission? Do I not go that route? How far do I go with fixing the car? What are the different methods that people have for fixing chassis rust? Do I dip the car? Do I sandblast the car? Do I not worry about either? Do I try to leave the car patinaed as it is on the outside and then make the inside really clean? What does that look like in terms of resale value on Bring a Trailer listings or Cars and Bids listings, 914 World, Facebook groups, right? So a bunch of...
Buy a Viper, right? I hear you.
Yeah, exactly. Buy a new car.
You get a first gen for like 30 grand.
Dude, yeah, it's sick. But just weighing a ton of different options in that respect, doing my own research, and then towards the end of the week, after I was kind of accumulating this different research, I created a big document and then fed that into Claude and asked Claude to go through that document and generate 10 plus prompts that systematically go through targeted narrow subjects of my overall listing to get data-driven, essentially information based on each one of these questions I have. For example, like engine swaps, market value, what do people value in resale of the car, what's worth it on the restoration side of things, what car should I start first, what's a good way to... something else I've been thinking about this week, which I failed to mention, is how do I monetize this, right? Is it worth to try to do maintenance on other Porsches? Is it worth it to monetize this through YouTube content? Is it worth it to have a Patreon through the YouTube content and then have a website with parts I want to sell, and then you get a discount on the parts if you subscribe to the Patreon, right? Where there's a lot of different options there. So I'm just trying to weigh some options and figure out what is a direction that I feel inspired to go in. Because one of the big hurdles I had this week is I'm not unwilling, but I feel as though it is stupid monetarily and also from a time perspective to restore the 914, the green one, back to just the stock configuration. I feel as though it is silly.
Is that including handling the rust or ignoring the rust?
Handling the rust? Handling the rust is kind of like a flat, like, this has to be done,
Got it.
regardless of what you do. But the orange car or the green car, one of them I want to build to some respect with some uniqueness. And
Okay.
so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. efficiently and effectively, and also what I can do
Mhm.
with each of those cars, and potentially how I could try to help to monetize some of this along the way.
Mhm.
So kind of diving a little bit back more onto the business side of things from this perspective.
There's an interesting component of making social media content that is not direct monetization, but it's um, social connections and awareness.
Hmm.
Like I have met people who have seen my TikToks and are like, I don't know them. And they're like, oh, like I think I saw you on TikTok. You're like talking about this thing. This is something that I hadn't known before. And I was like, oh, cool. And then like they work at like whatever company, right? But like if you make automotive content, you could meet other Steves
Right.
out there. And like Steve led you to Mike. So
Right.
like you could meet other people, even if it doesn't like generate a bunch of money up front, just having content and like getting like people in the community aware of who you are could lead you to cool connections that can open up opportunities as
Yes.
well.
Yes. So that's kind of agreed, agreed. And I think the content side of it has a lot of benefits. I'm wondering
Takes
how I
effort
can
though.
tackle this. I
Mhm.
mean, everything takes effort, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering how I can tackle this in a way that is a little bit more thought out than how I approached e-commerce, which was just like, just let shit hit the fan, like just work super hard on these set of things,
Mhm.
and just like don't really think too much, just follow the process. I want to try and think a little bit more this time
Okay.
and follow a process.
Okay.
But um one of the lessons I kind of pulled away was I think I left my mind behind, and I just believed in the process so much that I didn't like think critically about what was happening along the way. Because as you look back on the business, you're like, these were clear signs that I should have pivoted
Yeah, but they
or
only
could
look
have.
like that in hindsight.
That is true. That is true too. But I want to take a little bit more time to think about also what I would have liked to do with these cars.
Mhm.
Um, I just think that bare or kind of like plain restoration style stuff is less enticing to me.
Mhm.
And I think that ultimately content is moving towards kind of a side of like more and more entertainment, but like also more niche, kind of unique style stuff because of the volume of content out there. So I want to be able to tap into that effectively with the content that I make. So there's kind of a balance of different things, but I finished Claude generated those prompts for me, and I've started running them. I have to run them slowly because I use a really high amount of tokens to run each one because it's a deep research on their highest model with max effort.
Mhm.
So it's a high token usage, but it's doing really well so far. It did market analysis research for me, as well as kind of its approach to green car versus orange car. And I'm still reading through the green car versus orange car approach and adding in feedback and stuff like that before I move on to next prompts. But
Mhm.
overall, that's been working well. I plan to continue that this week and hopefully have a little bit more of an answer coming into the next podcast.
You know, it's a weird niche that no one's touched, but I think you would excel really well at.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen Savage Geese on YouTube?
Some of his videos, yeah.
Savage Geese, it's two guys who they review a car.
Hmm.
Like they're like, oh, like here's it's like they do an overview and then it's like here's the like touch points and like luxury and entertainment stuff. They get it on a lift, they talk about the mechanics, and then they go drive it and they talk about like how well it drives,
Hmm.
right? Um, and they're a little more technical than like Doug DeMuro, who's like, it feels like a race car and I love it like that. Like he's real
Hmm.
high level. They get a
Yeah.
little more technical with it. But it'd be really cool if you did like a car review channel and then gave recommendations on how to improve it, and then people could pay you to improve their car. So, like,
Yeah,
if
that'd
you
be neat.
had like in drivability, like the way you did with Miata, not like cram more horsepower into it, not rich guy go fast stuff, but like I think I could make this car handle a lot nicer, like be a lot
Mhm.
more compliant, or like
Yeah,
feel better around a track if that's what someone wants, right?
yeah.
That would be cool.
One of the things that I put into the prompts as well is what kind of niche parts or improvement parts are not currently out there that people have looked for on forums and not
Mhm.
been able to find, or what are people looking for in these cars that is not currently available? And based on the tooling set that I currently have with the 3-axis CNC, the 6-axis mill, the lathe, and the other tools that I have,
Yeah.
what could I produce by myself
Mhm.
in order to address one or two of those subsets.
Yeah.
So that's kind of another kind of interwoven a little bit with that idea as well.
Yeah.
But that is, thinking about a lot of different things. Part of my problem is that I'm thinking about so much that I don't really feel as though I have too much direction, which is why
Mhm.
I'm putting in this effort to try and find some direction.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I'm trying to think about this a little bit more, because I feel like if I don't think about it, I'll get caught up in not being sure of where I'm going and why.
Mhm.
And whether I'm going in the right direction or not, I feel like I have to be convinced that I am. So I have to convince myself that I am.
You could also pick a direction that has like a clear checkpoint, like a clear end stone, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of car guys, like that 40 guy, he's doing what's the build called that he's calling it?
Oh, I forgot.
Whatever it is, the
Yeah.
stance works build.
Yeah.
Like guys will say like I'm gonna build like I'll buy a McLaren 720 and then I'm gonna build it. Like I'm gonna put the supercharger on it and then it's gonna have new tires or whatever, right? Like that, I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna race it. And then like once that car is done, then by the time they finish that car, they have another thing that they're looking forward to that they want to do, right? So it's kind of like they're doing something while they're figuring out the direction to go. And so if you picked an open-ended thing, like I'm going to make YouTube videos and then work on customer Porsche 914s, right? That's really open-ended and you could do that forever. But if you set a specific goal, which is like I have a clear vision for like the orange car and I'm going to build the orange car and I'm going to film it
Yeah.
and put it on YouTube. And then once the orange car is done, I'll figure out where I want to go from there. And like that could give you time to like get started doing the stuff. You'll learn lessons along the way and then
Sure.
kind of give yourself the permission to like complete a milestone and succeed at that goal and then pick a new direction and new goal from there.
Right.
Instead of just like and like because the drop shipping is like an endless torrent of like I'm gonna do the thing until forever. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep scaling and I'm just going to keep going and keep going. And there's not like a clear, like, stop and pause and take a breath point. But
Mhm.
like completing the orange car or the green car could be like a point where you work
Yeah.
toward.
Yeah. I want to have some sort of vision that I'm working towards
Yeah.
within reason.
Also, if you got a truck, because I know that that's down the road.
Yeah.
Eventually,
I
if you
mean,
got a
I
truck,
need a truck at some point.
it would be so interesting to see a video series where you buy a truck and you say, this is the truck I bought. Here's a review of the truck. Here's what I really don't like about it. I need to replace the seats, the headliner, the whatever. But like it feels way too like loose. So I'm gonna stiffen it up. And here's the suspension changes. I'm gonna make an Optimum K to make it feel a little better. And then like the improvements that you make, kind of like as if you filmed the Miata through its development, right?
Mhm.
Because like whatever car you get, that's what you're gonna do to it, probably,
Yeah.
right? But like watching you having ridden in other Miatas and then having ridden in your Miata and seen you work on it, I think that what's truly special about you is your ability to drive a car and figure out what it needs and then give it that. And I
Mm.
think that that is like lightning in a bottle that if you put on camera, people would watch.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, that's a great point too.
it's not like just putting a stage tune on it or whatever. Like,
Mm.
you know, all the guys who are like, oh, I've got like a stage 2 build on this. That doesn't
Right,
mean
yeah.
shit.
Right.
Guys don't know shit. But if you drive the car, like something that I think that Grand Tour, the old Grand Tour had was they were really able to express how the cars made them feel.
Mhm.
And then they went and had fun with it. But like
Yeah.
no one these days who modifies cars really speaks to like the emotion that they get from the car. And I think that you do that pretty well. And then I think that you can improve it pretty well too.
Yeah.
So
Well,
like
I
that's something
appreciate
I
it.
would watch.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really cool route too. I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is going to end up in some sort of content creation
Yeah.
to some extent.
Which I think is good. Because if you
Yeah.
don't know, if you don't do it, no one's gonna know about you.
Right, 100%. But that's kind of been my what I've been digging into this week. Obviously, in light of the move, as well as just general desire to, I want to sell stuff, so I'm going to be listing some stuff. I'm actually going to be listing some stuff soon, and that's about all I got for business this week.
Cool.
What do you have for business this week?
Oh my god, why is it fucking headache? My hotspot stopped working too. I'll start with my client update. We left off last week. We were like about to go under contract. Life was good. We just needed to get the contract signed, right? And then on Monday, we got the contract signed. Um, but it was a little bit of a difficult situation getting there. So our I have to be careful about the details here because it's sensitive. So you know most of the story already, I think.
I do, yeah.
But for record keeping sake, condos listed at X price. We offer X minus 15 grand, right? And we want like a 14-day inspection period. We want a home warranty. We want a couple other things. And the seller receives our offer and they counter with a slightly higher price than we had recommended. And they wanted like no home warranty, 10-day inspection, like less on all these other things, right? And so we talked to our buyer and we were like, hey, here's the price. And he was like, we should counter. And I was like, well, hang on. They have all these other things, right? Um, I recommended that we overshoot on all those other things, and the seller met me where I really wanted us to end up at. So I think that this is actually a really reasonable counter. Um, so like keep that in mind. But I charge a flat fee of 2.5%, and the seller is only offering 2%. And so the options here are you ask the seller to pay more, but they said that this is their bottom line. They're losing money selling this place and they can't go any lower than the price they gave us. So like they can't pay more. You ask the listing agent to give up part of their percent, their commission, right? Which is really how it works. Like the listing agent is the one that is offering it their portion of their
Yeah.
commission to you. It's not the seller. Um, or you pay us directly the remainder, or you ask us to reduce commission. And he was like, "Well, go negotiate and see if you can get it from the listing agent because that's like the best way to do it." And I was like, "Sounds good. I think it's reasonable, right? We're almost to a deal." And so I called the listing agent and I was like, "Hey, we talked to our buyer and we got them to agree to all the terms except for the commission. So if you can just meet me at 2.5%, we'll sign the deal today. We'll be good to go." And they were really rude to me and foot stomped and said no. I'll leave it at that. They were a real dick. And so I go back to Grace and I was like, listen, they would not budge on it. Um, you know, should we just have our buyer pay us the difference in cash to our brokerage and then we get paid through the brokerage, right? So like it's not being financed through the sale of the house. It's extra money that you have to tack on as a down payment in air quotes, right? But do we just charge them directly or do we reduce our commission? Because like this bitch ain't moving on their commission. And so Grace and I worked out a deal with our buyer. And so we signed the contract, right? But that's the first ever negotiation that I've lost in real estate, which is a hard loss. And I think it's hard because we had this exact situation 2 months ago. And our buyer, like the seller said, oh, we're only offering like 2% or
Yeah.
something. And my client was like, well, if you're not getting paid, then like fuck these people. So we left. And like we went and bought another house.
Yeah.
And so that's really powerful leverage is like bailing out of the deal. But our client really wanted this place and it's Grace's family member. And so I could not use that leverage on the phone with this person, right? This person also seemed really apathetic in saying they have this contract for another year and they'll let this house sit on the rot on the market was their words for the next year if it took that to find a buyer and buyer agent who would accept their commission, um, which really irritates me for a couple reasons. But ultimately, ultimately, uh, we go under contract at 2%, right? And we get a 10-day inspection period. We get our inspector to come out on like the second or third day of the inspection because we're good friends with our inspector, right? And everything's moving along smoothly. And then the night before the inspection, our client is sending Grace other listings, and they're like, "What do you think of this one? What do you think of this one?" And Grace is like, "Hey man, what the fuck are you sending me other listings for? We're under contract on this one. Don't you want this one?" And the guy is like, "Yeah, I do, but like just in case it doesn't like come through." And we're like, "What do you mean just in case it doesn't come through?" And they're like, "I just want to have backups." And we were like, "Okay." And so like that was a little red flag. We get through the inspection. The inspection's clean. No worries under the inspection. And then we hear the actual issue. There's a development in their personal life that prevents them from closing on this home, right? And I'll leave it at that. It's unfortunate. It's aggravating. It's frustrating to me. It's easily preventable, and it was easily predictable from the client's perspective. There's no way that I could have known or Grace could have known. So now I lose my first negotiation because I have my hands tied behind my back. We get under contract despite that at a good deal. We got them under contract at a price lower than what our CMA valued it at, right? And then we get a clean inspection, like everything's going well. And now I have to write my first cancellation, which really frustrates me, right? It frustrates me because I do think that this is surmountable. It's kind of similar to how a few months ago I was like, do you remember when I went through that phase where I was like, you and I make shit work? Like we fucking figure it out,
Sure.
right? And other people don't. They just give up. This was like one of those kind of things. It's aggravating. That's the negative side. The silver lining is I get to send a cancellation notice to this agent who was a total bitch to me, and that makes me happy. So this agent was really sweet to Grace and really rude to me. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, in the same day, rude to me on the phone, very short with me over text, and then like sending like heart hands to Grace. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And so uh, Grace is like stressed out, and I was like, I will deal with it. Don't worry about it. Like, I will handle it. She was like, okay. And so I write up the cancellation form, and I have our client sign it, and I send it over to the title company and the transaction coordinator and all that other shit, which is also annoying because this real estate agent was unwilling to move on their commission, quote, because they worked really hard on that house, as if the buyer agents didn't work hard to get this listing for their buyer, right? And she hired a transaction coordinator. And a transaction coordinator is basically, once you're under contract, your client stops talking to you and they just talk to the transaction coordinator and they do all the paperwork to get the deal done.
Got it.
Right? Usually they're like $300 or $400, right? I choose to not do that because I want to be involved from start to finish and make sure that my client is getting everything done. I don't want to put any liability on anyone else. I don't want to put it in the hands of a transaction coordinator. I will handle this with you to the end, and I'm going to make sure you get everything you need, right?
Yep.
But like, just don't hire the transaction coordinator and then drop a 0.25% in commission, and like we'll both be happy, you know? But no, you hire your transaction coordinator, whatever. So I sent the cancellation to the transaction coordinator, and I was like, "Hey, unfortunately, we have to cancel. Here's the form, right?" And Grace is busy yesterday getting ready for our vacation and stuff. So like, she's not doing real estate yesterday. Like, I am handling all the real estate stuff, right? Which is why I sent the email, right? The rest of the evening, Grace gets 3 phone calls from this agent. I have not received a text, an email back, a phone call, a fax, or a letter from a pigeon. I haven't gotten shit from this agent. She's called Grace 3 times, right? Despite I have already set the precedent that like when Grace is busy, I handle it, and I sent the email. So use some contact clues. You should probably talk to me, right? Late last night, I get an email back, and you know, they're like, received, okay, and then they go, like, would you let me know? Did you find something under the inspection? Is there anything I can do? Any feedback you have that would help me get this place sold for my client? Okay, I'm decentivized to help you sell this place, right? So like, no, it's not because of the inspection period. It is another personal matter, right? There's nothing we found under the inspection that caused this to happen. And there's no feedback we have that might help you sell the home. Sorry, not sorry, right? And this is like the fucking, it's my lesson learned for this week, so I'll get to it later, but it is really just fucking aggravating when people are shitty to me for no reason, because like, you know me, I will go out of my way to help people,
Yeah.
right? When I'm not obligated to go out of my way to help people and you piss me off, I will go out of my way to not help you, right?
Right.
Like, there's no legal requirement for me to send the inspection report to this chick or to tell her why we're backing out, because we can back out for any reason, right? I'm not legally obligated to do any of that. I could talk to my client and say, hey, do you mind if I give them the reasoning and send them the inspection report to make them feel more comfortable and maybe help this agent get the place sold? And my client's a nice guy. He probably would say, okay, but I'm not going to because I don't care. And so that whole situation is annoying to me. And they still haven't gotten a signature yet on the cancellation. So like, now I have to go hunt that signature down from them.
Got it.
So now we talked to our client and I was like, listen, we're not showing you the other homes that you like found while we were under inspection. Like you need to go talk to a builder if you want to buy land and build. You need to talk to a lender if you need to get a mortgage on something, or talk to a fucking tax lawyer to figure out, or a financial advisor, I'm sorry, not a tax lawyer. Talk to a financial advisor and figure out how much money you have to buy a house. Because we should not be writing offers if you don't have a true intent to buy. And I recognize that you had your personal like revelation while we were under contract and did not make that clear to us until we were already under contract. But like, you need to speak to an adult and a professional and get your shit figured out before I put my reputation on the line for you, right?
Sure.
And so we're gonna hook him up with our financial advisor, our lender, and the builder for the type of tiny home that he wants. And he's gonna go talk to professionals, and they're gonna figure it out, right? And
Yeah.
then we're gonna move from there.
Cool.
Um,
Good.
so yeah, we have a path forward. Grace and I are not gonna be doing any of this while we're on vacation, and that's nice. So
That is good at least.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's aggravating, but it is what it is, and I'm not gonna force someone to buy a property that they can't afford,
Right.
right? Now, fortunately, Grace and I did our paperwork correctly so that he had the benefit of backing out. But if you don't do your paperwork correctly, then you can get pigeonholed into like having to lose your escrow money and stuff like that. But the reason the cancellation, getting a signature on the cancellation is a big deal is because if they don't sign it, then we have to go to the Florida Real Estate Commission and try to fight to get the escrow back. The escrow is like $3,000 or something like that.
Got it. Okay.
Anyway, that's that client update. Could be better.
Yeah.
You're a new client. We're gonna go look at a condo
Okay.
today.
Yeah. True.
My Facebook ads last week.
Client-ish, I guess you could say.
Yeah, client-ish. My Facebook ads last week, I think I got them posted, or maybe not. Maybe I was editing them. Doesn't matter. Now the Facebook ads are edited and they're posted under a campaign. Each ad has its own ad set under one campaign. The campaign has $10 to spend a day, and it spends it how it wants to, right? I started it at $10 because I knew I was going to be out of town all next week. And so I'm going to give it a week at $10 to let it bed in. I'll give it next week while I'm on vacation at $10. And then when I come back, I'll ramp it up to probably like $50, $60 a week or a
Yeah.
day. I just don't want to ramp it up now because on the off chance that I do get some clients, I don't want to miss them if I'm in the mountains with no reception or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to burn $50, $70 on $10 a day for the next week. And then I'll pick it
Sure.
up maybe next weekend when I come back. But they're running well. They have, some of them don't have enough data to have a hold rate, but all the hook rates are above 35%.
Okay.
The highest one I think was like 47% that I checked yesterday. So
Yeah.
the hook rates aren't bad, but it's a low volume
It'll
of
go
data.
down as you spend more too.
Right. And it's a low volume of data. Like it's only been seen by like 1,000 people. So like it just
Oh, yeah.
needs more
Yeah,
time.
it
It
just-
just
yeah.
needs more time, needs more spend. So the Facebook ads are running. Also, I found we were doing a showing last week and I found a business card from one of the other agents at my brokerage and I really liked the design. So I took pictures and I figured out what company makes the business card. And then I made my own version of that design
Okay.
and ordered a test batch from the business card company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a cool design. I like it. So we'll see how they come in. They should be here next week or the week after. And then if I like them, then I'll do a bulk order of them.
Nice.
I also realized that you can get little like 3D printed like business stands that are like realtor themed or whatever. And Adam will 3D print them for me. So if I buy the step file and then edit it to have like my logo and shit on there, then Adam can 3D print a bunch of them for me. So I can have one at like the bars. I can bring one to work. I can actually have a couple at work. It's like a fun thing that stands out, right?
Sure.
And these business cards are a significant upgrade from the business cards that I have currently. So like I would not mind putting money into this to have a bunch of them spread around.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. So
Nice.
anyway, that's my business update for the week. It's not my finest, not my favorite, but it is what it is.
Mine wasn't either. The last 2 weeks
Yeah.
have been a little bit of a shit show.
What lessons did you learn this week?
What I wrote down here is some lessons you learn twice and some you learn once. Try to learn it once if you can help it.
Oh, that's good.
So that was in light of the last 2 weeks
Mhm.
of what Sammy and I have been going through with someone else being at the house. I have confidence that this is a lesson that I will learn once,
Yeah.
or I really I hope there's not a new flavor of this same lesson that comes along and tricks me, because I think that there is enough pain associated with this experience that I will not have
Right.
that happen again.
Right.
So some lessons you learn once, some you learn twice. But I'm trying to learn them once if I can, especially in this particular situation.
Yeah.
But that was really my lesson.
You also now have the added benefit of having gone through it before, so you know what you can be aware of next time. And so like if this situation arises again, you can be very clear with that person and say like, I've done this before. Here's what fucking sucked about it that time. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't think you can meet these requirements, I'm not helping you. but like you have
I
to
mean, for
agree
me,
to this.
honestly, it doesn't even matter. Like that's not even on the table. It's like it sucked for these reasons, and I don't trust it to go better.
Mm,
And I also don't care if you can convince me it can go better because I've already made a decision
yeah,
associated on the previous experience.
yeah.
And like whatever you say this time does not matter because fundamentally I've made a choice.
You know, also, if you move into a 2-bedroom apartment, you don't really have a space to set someone up.
I mean, I didn't have a space to fucking set them up this time
That's true.
either.
You made the garage
You
work.
know, they
You know
slept on the
what?
couch.
Do you remember I told
Yeah.
you a while ago, I was like, I am unwilling to help a lot of people, but I will be the guy to put you in touch with someone who might be able to help you. Do you remember that? Like I'm the
Yeah.
middleman. I did
Yeah.
that this time,
Yeah.
right? I got him his
Yeah.
current place,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
found him that.
And he's good there.
That's what I do all the time. So if anyone ever comes to you like this and you're like, oh fuck, just ask me because I am the man when it comes to delegating issues to
Yeah.
other people and having
Yeah.
someone else fix it. Because like there's someone else who's better equipped to help you, and I'm gonna help you find that person.
Well, it's funny too. I actually tried to kick him out Wednesday.
Mhm.
He left Saturday morning. I tried to kick him out Wednesday because he wouldn't walk the front door.
Mhm.
Just wouldn't like continuously forgot like 5 or 6 times or so. And like I reminded him more times than that. Sammy also did, so that's compounded effect in that respect.
Yeah.
But the main reason I lock the front door is because it doesn't latch very well, and if the cats get out, it's a big issue.
Right.
And just couldn't walk the front door. And so I tried to kick him out Wednesday. Essentially told him to get his shit out by the end of the night, call up some of his buddies, I'm done.
Mhm.
And told him that multiple times. And then he started crying on the phone. And then I was like, fuck, like, it's like a tough situation. And so he walked the door from then on out. But
Just barely.
just barely, yeah. Yeah, it was a couple times he had to run back and lock it, but he locked it. He locked it.
Yeah.
So, but it's like stuff like that. Like I don't want to be in that position. Like I don't
No.
I like I try to be a really nice person and I try to care for the people around me. Um, but it's like, I have my limitations. I don't ask a lot of people, and when I do ask something, I try to make it excruciatingly clear. And like, would you disagree with that?
No, I also think that intent goes a long way. Like you and I were talking about your current living situation where there are better landlords. Like
Sure.
if your plumbing didn't work, but your landlord was doing everything to try to make it work,
Sure.
you would be understanding. If someone needs to crash with you for a week and they're really down and they really need help and like they are a good person and they're just misunderstood or whatever, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you earn almost 100K a year and you don't go to work 3 days a week and you
Yeah,
treat
that's
the
another
person
thing
who's
too.
helping you out like shit and like you make enough money and the debt isn't that much, like you have as much debt, like your monthly debt payments have been bigger than his in the past few months.
I've been paying,
And so like
yeah, $2,000.
right. And so like if the person like I can't help but feel like leaving the situation going, I don't think that person really needed your help.
It doesn't add up.
Right. They don't really need your help. And so if they're gonna treat you like shit and take advantage of you and they don't need your help, then it's like, why did I fucking do this at all?
Yeah.
Why did I do it at all?
Right. And
Now you're taking advantage of me.
yeah, it was um this will not happen again.
If he made 20 grand a year
Yeah.
and he acted the way he did, I would be like, that checks out. But if that were the case, you probably wouldn't have been friends with him years ago, right? Like there's some aspect of him that is like good guy applies himself intellectual. It's in there somewhere, right? Because that's when you were friends
Somewhere,
with him
yeah.
years ago.
Also, I did meet him at a cover bar, so it's like,
Yeah, but like there's some aspect of it,
Yeah.
right? But like he doesn't make 20 grand a year. He's not a dipshit. Like he makes good money and like his debt
Right.
isn't that huge. Like that's an LC 500 payment. Like
Right.
and I make what he makes. So
right.
and I paid double rent and double groceries, double fucking everything. So like the math doesn't math, it doesn't make sense. And if someone doesn't need help but they ask for help anyway, that feels like taking advantage of someone.
Yeah, and I spent the balance of the week trying to figure out what is the deal with his situation in my own head, trying to balance this out and trying to figure out where the money goes. And I came to the conclusion that regardless of whether he's an idiot or not, I'm the biggest idiot in this situation because I let him stay at my fucking house, and that won't happen again. And so
But did you know you didn't know this until he moved in?
That it,
Like, it came from a good place.
Sure.
It came from a good place.
Yeah, he
I think
called me at 4 p.m. needing a place for that night.
it's an honorable thing to do to let someone stay and
Right.
let him stay for 2 weeks even, right? Because like
Yeah.
he asked for a couple days or a week.
He
and you
asked
gave
for
him
a
2 weeks.
day initially.
He asked for
a
a day, and you gave him 2 weeks. So like,
Yeah.
I think it's a very honorable thing, and I don't think that you should be too scorned by it. And like, you're too humble to say that it was a good thing, and so I'll say it for you. But it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
It was
I tried
a
to do a good thing.
like you can't say that you're not selfless.
And no, that's yeah. I'd agree with that. I'm unwilling to do this same flavor
I understand.
again, and the problems that arose due to this situation.
Yeah.
It was frankly ridiculous.
Yep. I understand.
For a multitude of reasons that I've expressed on the podcast, as well as minute small things that you've heard about throughout the week that
Yeah.
are just like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
And so, my lesson learned is some lessons you learn twice, some you learn once. Try to learn it once if you can help it.
Yep.
So that's what
That's
I
a good
got.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah. What do you got for lesson learned this week?
I have two. One of them is set firm expectations, right? Especially with family, but like set firm, crystal clear fucking expectations with
Yeah.
clients. I've learned this lesson before. And the error that I made this time around is that this is Grace's family member. It's Grace's lead. At first, I was going to let her do like the whole deal on her own and like get paid and like keep all the money from it, right? Like,
Sure.
money is not as free flowing for her as it is for me. And so like, I'm happy for her to do a deal and just get all the money from it, right?
Sure.
But as time went on, she was like, "Hey, do you want to help me try to find property for this?" And I was like, "No, like you got it. Like it's up to you." And she was like, "No, I'm asking you, like, will you help me?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And I thought maybe she just like wanted to do it together or something. And then I quickly realized that no, this is a very needy client who needs a lot of like, some clients are hands off, some are hands on. Like,
Yeah.
some clients look at 3 places, they pick the one they like the most, they're under contract and they buy it, no issue. And then
Right.
other contracts need a lot of hands-on input, right? This is one that was a little more hands-on. Grace needed the help. And so I was like, okay. So I came in like halfway through the deal and I would ask Grace questions, and Grace had already gotten answers from those questions from this client previously, but didn't ask how that happened. Like, she didn't ask detailed questions. So it was
Yeah.
like, what is your price range? Not like specifically like,
How do you know that that's your price range?
how do you know it's your price range?
Right.
Where do you have the money from? If we have to send proof of funds to someone, what does that look like? Can we get that put together? Detailed, right?
Right.
Another issue is they sold a home in another state, and that was an income producing property, and so they have to pay out the fucking nose in taxes on that sale, which they weren't expecting, right? And so like, and it, like at the beginning of this deal, if your financing for this new place is dependent on an old place, or even if you're like your general retirement and not like purchasing this new place, like if your general lifestyle is dependent on a sale of an old place, like I should talk to that agent and figure out what the net sheet looks like for what their sale proceeds are going to be, right? So like, detailed questions that I didn't get the answer to. I thought Grace had a firm lock on it. Grace thought she had a firm lock on it because she knows this person and trusts this person. The client did not have a firm lock on it. And that wound up biting us in the ass.
Yeah.
And our client too, because like our client didn't know. But if Grace and I had been more, if we had dug a little deeper and like asked the right questions, I think that all 3 of us could have avoided this situation. And so in the future, I'm setting firm expectations. And so in practice with that, when we look at this condo today, I pulled it up on the MLS because they don't always have the fees on Zillow, but I want you to know exactly how much it looks like up front. So like for this place, you're looking at like no less than probably like, it was like $4,500 up front or something like that, right? And there could be last month as well. Like just to prepare you in advance, this is how much money you're going to need in cash up front, ready to go, right? And like here's what that like credit score is going to look like, et cetera, right?
Yes.
And so like setting clear expectations up front is a lesson that I've learned before, but this is the first deal where I've kind of jumped in on halfway through and didn't really know. And so I think that the biggest lesson I learned this week is like ask the question and then ask how they know that. Like you've heard Alex Ramosi.
Yeah, that's what I was reminded of right now. Yeah.
Dude, it's oh god, it's
How do you
like
define
logic
that?
evidence. It's
How
logic,
do you know that?
Yep.
Why does it matter?
Logic evidence utility. It's like,
Yeah.
what is it? How do you know it? Why does it matter to me?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the why does it matter to me is always the same, which is if you can't buy or sell this home with me, then we need to go get that figured out, right?
Right.
So Follow logic, evidence, utility from here on out. The second lesson that I learned is actually not a mistake that I made, but a mistake someone else made that wound up being negative for them. And that lesson is treat others how you want to be treated.
Oh, true. Yeah. That's a good
Because,
one.
dude, oh man, this commission thing is really driving me nuts. It's not the reason that the deal fell through. The deal fell through because of issues on the client side and their personal issues that I'm not going to bring up on a public podcast. But what I will bring up is that there have been multiple deals now where I know the way that it works is that a seller interviews a real estate agent and the real estate agent says, I charge 6%. I keep 3.5%. I offer 2.5%. 2.5% is very standard. There is no international standard on buyer commission per NAR, right? You can offer whatever you want, right? But most buyer agents charge their clients 2.5%. So if you offer less than 2.5%, be prepared for that buyer to have to pay out of pocket to their agent, which they're not going to want to do. So they're either going to ask you to increase the sale price of the home, or I'm sorry, increase the pay directly out of pocket, the seller pay directly out of pocket, or the listing agent to reduce their commission, right?
Yep.
Fucking prepare for that or prepare to lose the sale. It happened 2 months ago. It almost happened this time.
Yeah.
But it's a family member and a client, and so we were able to work out a deal with them,
Sure.
right? Special situation. But the seller interviews an agent who says that they're going to do 6%. And they go, okay. And then they interview an agent who's going to do 5%. And they go, oh, awesome. I'll go with the cheaper agent because it's going to save me money, right? You will lose deals, or you can lose deals. You got to be careful with the fucking being certain, like the phrasing, right? So like, let me rephrase. If you work with an agent who charges less, you can lose deals, right?
Right.
It's happened before. It happened with me 2 months ago. It almost happened this time. So I made a TikTok video talking about this because I was venting to Adam about this at the Kava bar. And he was like, I didn't even know that's how commission worked. And like, I didn't know that if a buyer agent is charging X percentage and I offer less than that, they don't just accept that. Like the buyer has to pay out of pocket, which means that like if you're down, like some people do down payments as low as like $3,000, right? And so if you're doing a really low down payment and now you have to pay your real estate agent fucking $2,000 out of pocket, that's almost doubling your down payment. You might not have that cash available, right?
Right.
And so that's not my biggest issue, right? Although it does need to be known, and I think that more buyers and sellers should be aware of what's happening here, because like the seller for this place might not even know that this was an issue. Like they might not even know because like they just know that they're paying their agent 5%. And like when I was on the phone with the agent, I was like, here's the situation. And like the agent spoke for their client and was like, the client will not pay more, right? Legally, you're not allowed to do that unless you have like a special agreement set up with your buyer, which maybe they do. I don't know. But as a standard transaction broker, you can't speak on behalf of your client. You have to take an offer back to your client, have your client agree or disagree, and then come back, right? You have to be a mouthpiece for your client, right? If you're like a single agent broker, I think is the term, it means that I have permission from you as your client to go negotiate on your behalf. So I can tell them anything that I want from information that you've given me and like go speak on your behalf. I don't think they have that representation. So they should not have done that. But they spoke on their behalf, was like the seller won't go down. And I was like, okay, well then like, may I ask what your commission is and if you'd be willing to give up? And they were at 3%. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to ask, like, if I don't want you to go down 0.5% for me to be at 2.5 and you to be at 2.5, because I do believe that the listing agent should be paid more than the buyer agent, right? I'm not going to ask you to do something that I wouldn't do myself, right? And so instead, why don't you meet me at the middle at 2.25 and 2.75? That seems reasonable, right? And they were like, well, if I go below 3, I have to go talk to my broker. And I was like, cool. If I go below 2.5, I have to go talk to my broker. Why don't we go talk to our brokers and find a middle ground? And they foot stomped and they were really rude.
Got it.
Suffice it to say, the lesson here isn't to offer more commission. The lesson here is to treat others how you want to be treated. Because if she was really polite on the phone and as nice to me as she was with Grace, this would not be as big of an issue.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
Like, if you scratch your back, I'll scratch mine. If you were really polite and you were like, listen, I'm so sorry, but like, this is my thing. Like, I just can't move. The seller's going through a really hard time and like, I don't make much money, whatever, right? Like,
Sure.
if they did background information into me, they'd find out that I work at Northrop Grumman. It's not easy. It's not difficult to figure out. So like, they could probably do their background information and find out that I have a fucking heart and that if they're going through a tough time or their seller's going through a tough time, apologize, right? You could also say like, hey, listen, I can go back and talk to my seller. I can try to work out a deal with you. Maybe if you come down on the inspection period, or maybe if you go up in price a little bit, then we can do this, right?
Yeah.
all of that to say, why didn't you just, instead of countering, like, because they were here and we were here, and they came all the way down to really close to our number. Why didn't they come down half as much and offer the 2.5%? Right?
Yeah.
And then if we say we want lower, then they say, well, if we go lower, then we are going to cut your commission, right? That's a valid negotiating structure. Why didn't they do that? That's bad negotiating from their end, right? And like the whole thing is like, treat others how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You could have been nice. You could have been nice to me. I was polite the entire time. I really struggle to be polite with rude people. I really fucking struggle with it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, there's another level of incompetence that I forgot to talk about in my life update. But like we have a contract that we're working to, and as a statement in our SAO, it says, hey, go do this thing, right? This thing is some made up fucking bullshit event that isn't real. It's not doctored by the 15288 IEEE criteria, which is the systems engineering standard for the Department of Defense, right? It's not in there. They were like go do this thing, go make shit up for it. And I was like, okay. So I made shit up and I sent it over to them, knowing that this event, it should just be like a technical meeting. It shouldn't be this whole kit and caboodle that they're making it. And so then they rejected my submittal and they were like, hey, why wasn't this included? And the answer is because there's no reason for it to be included, because it's not a governing document. Like we're just people here. Like I just made it up. You asked me to make it up. And then their second comment was, why are we even doing it? We're doing it because it's in the SAO that you gave me, dude. Like you asked me to do it. That's why you're doing it. So like that frustrated me to no end. And then on top of that, I have this person who's being rude to me for no reason. And that's what's frustrating. Because like sometimes you have to deliver bad news. Sometimes you have to be selfish and say like, hey, I feel that I deserve to be paid more than you do, right? Or like, hey, like, you know, I started at 6%, but I wasn't able to get the listing agreement signed, and so I had to go down to 5%, right? Like, be kind, right?
Yeah.
And it will take you far. Because if they were kind, this deal wouldn't have worked out either way, right? Regardless of the commission.
Sure.
But if they were kind, then maybe they would have a really thorough inspection report sent over to them this afternoon with the cancellation agreement. And then they could put that on their listing and say, hey, not only can we start back at our original price, but here's this free inspection that shows that the place is really great. Or maybe here are the issues that are with it. And you can like open kimono and tell people what the issues are, right? Because they don't know what problems we found in the inspection. They don't know what things are good in the inspection because they didn't pay to have an inspection done. I pay for inspections for all my clients. That's part of my Facebook ad. Is that I pay inspections up front, which they could have done. And she'd like to know, wouldn't she? Because she said in her email, is there anything from the inspection? Well, you should have negotiated that with your client and offered to pay for it up front, because that's what I do for my clients. Okay, I'm done ranting. That's the lessons that I learned this week.
Very nice. You want to dial us in?
I do. It's a quote from you from a couple years ago, and it's a nice one. It's free to be polite.
True.
That's it.
True.
That's all
I think we had that one on the podcast a while back, like about a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah, it's a good one. But it really stuck with me. And I try to carry that with me every day. And I should say it to other people more often when they're being rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. It's it's free to be polite.
It's free to be polite.
Unless you offer someone else to live in your house, then it costs you a little bit, but
well, I mean, like when you called him and had to kick him out, I'm sure you were like firm but like not unreasonable about it, right? Like
yeah, I mean, I was firm and real. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
Can't do the one thing I asked and I give you everything off my back. It's like, what the fuck?
How often do you have an attitude with someone? How often do you give them?
Very rarely.
I can't think of the last time I've actually done it to someone's face.
Very rarely.
I'm very pragmatic. I'm very practical. I'm very matter of fact.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm compassionate in most instances, right?
Mm-hmm.
I certainly was on the phone with this agent while like she was busy being very rude to me. Like
yeah. But it is free to be polite.
It's free to be polite. That's it.
Well, thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen. This is episode 117 of the Vision 79 podcast. Hopefully you have a great week coming up, and we will see you next time.